Hey there, welcome to Tea Time Tangles, your cozy corner for immersive storytelling. Today's tale comes from the web novel The Duke's Master Wife, written by Violet167. So grab your tea, get comfy, and let's steep into a world of twists, turns, and tangled fates. Chapter 3. Determined. I got caught, Alessandra muttered, leaning up against a tree now that she was far out of sight from Kate and the Duke. She knew the affections Kate held for the Duke, and she should have anticipated that Kate would come looking for him. Alessandra only hoped Kate hadn't overheard her conversation with the Duke. Kate was malicious enough to spread rumors about the contract to her friends. Please don't let that be the case, Alessandra whispered. She wished she could have stayed to hear what the Duke and Kate were discussing. There was always the possibility Edgar could expose her at any moment. From what she had heard about him, thanks to Kate's big mouth, he didn't seem like the type of man to joke around or make someone a fool. He wouldn't have invited her to his home if he wasn't serious. Alessandra could only hope she was right. Before heading back inside, she took a deep breath and pushed aside any negative thoughts. She would worry about everything else tomorrow. Right now, she was insanely hungry. Her food had not been delivered, and at this point, she no longer expected it. This was either Kate's or her mother's doing. Alessandra stepped away from the tree and ran toward the back door of the kitchen. She glanced behind her to make sure she wasn't being followed before opening it. What she walked into was chaos. Servers running around trying to get food out to the guests. It was an entirely different world from the one everyone in her father's hall was experiencing. Mario, Alessandra called for the cook as she maneuvered through the frenzy. No one seemed to notice her, too absorbed in their duties. Alessandra preferred it that way. It's a bit bland, don't you think, Alessandra? Said Mario, one of the three cooks, upon spotting her. Cover for me, I won't be long, he told another cook. Follow me, he said, taking Alessandra's hand to lead her back outside. The Baron's wife had been checking in on the kitchen often, and the last thing he needed was for a family member to see Alessandra in there. No one came to my room to deliver food, she explained, knowing it was risky to come herself. Mario closed the door behind him and released her hand. It's that witch's fault. Just a month ago they were laying off cooks and other staff. Now they throw this party, and there aren't enough of us to handle it. What are they thinking? Duke Collins is looking for a wife, haven't you heard? Mario scoffed. So that's the reason. Let me guess. They threw a party just so Kate could meet him. I bet she's buzzing around him like a fly right now. I've spoken to him, Alessandra said in a low tone. The Duke? About what? Mario asked, confused. He'd heard too many stories about Edgar to understand why Alessandra would speak with him. There are a lot of bad stories about that man. There are plenty of stories about me in this mask. Do you believe them? She asked, already knowing the answer. She couldn't judge Edgar based on rumors when the ones about her were false. Mario fell silent. He'd heard the talk about Alessandra, how people claimed her face could harm, but he had never seen her without the mask. Still, he didn't believe those tales. Of course not. Then I'll give the Duke a fair chance. I can't tell you what we spoke about, but I will say I'm hoping for some good news, Alessandra said, resting against a broken wall and looking out toward the garden. Is this part of your escape plan? I hope the Duke helps you get far away. It's a shame you can't go on your own because of the young girl's disappearing, Mario said as he joined her, sitting beside her on the wall. I hope the culprit is found and the girls are still safe, Alessandra said softly. I overheard your father saying something about it when I brought him his coffee. I was hired as a cook, but with all the layoffs, I'm also doing maid work. They should at least pay me for the extra duties, Mario grumbled, kicking a stone away. Alessandra watched it roll. When I leave, you should come with me. You've always been kind to me, and I'd like to return the favor. That's kind of you, but I owe the Baron for the money I borrowed. I've got about a year left before it's paid off. Then I'll come find you. You're the only Barrett I can stand. I don't know what went wrong with the rest of them. If it weren't for her, he would have believed the entire family was insufferable. I don't know what went wrong with my father, Alessandra said. Mario, I need a favor. Well, two. I'm not close to the coachman, but you are. Can you ask him to take me somewhere tomorrow without letting my family know? He might run if I try to speak to him myself. Mario was the only one she could talk to like this. He didn't believe the rumors about her being a ghost or hurting people with her face. That won't be a problem. I assume this trip has something to do with the Duke. I'm still wary of him, Alessandra. Even if you don't believe rumors, there are some things you should be careful of. I'll listen to your advice and stay cautious. I'll always carry my trusted knife, she said, pulling a small blade from the pocket of her dress. Mario had stolen it and given it to her for protection. If he tries anything, then bang. Mario stared at her, unimpressed by how she held the knife. Just a reminder, you're holding a knife, not a gun. What's the second favor? Mario, someone called from inside the kitchen. Food, please, Alessandra said with an innocent smile. Right away. I better get it before they scold me for being gone so long, he said, standing up, brushing off his pants and slipping back through the door. As Alessandra waited patiently, she tapped her fingers to the rhythm of the faint music drifting from inside the house. It was one of her father's favorite songs, one he played at every party he hosted. She closed her eyes and imagined what it would be like to dance to that music, chatting with others, enjoying the food, laughing. If only she didn't have to wear a mask. If only the rumors didn't cause people to back away in fear. After a while, Mario returned with a plate of food and a jug of something to drink. I got you a little bit of everything, Mario said, his voice bringing her back to reality. Alessandra opened her eyes and smiled. Tonight she would eat in the quiet comfort of her room with the kitten she'd recently found. The two of them would listen to music, share a meal, and then fall asleep together. And that wraps up today's chapter of The Duke's Masked Wife. If you're enjoying the journey so far, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more storytime sessions right here at Tea Time Tangles. New chapters drop regularly, so keep your teacup full and your notifications on. Until next time.